Hi, so I'm Lauren, and today we are going to be talking about Haus Laboratories, which if you don't know that brand, it is by Lady Gaga and her makeup artist Sarah Tano. And this line has been out for, I want to say, well over a year now, maybe even like closer to 2 years. And for some reason, I just don't feel like I see a lot of people talking about this line. And personally, I will say that it didn't particularly speak to me when they first launched because they were also launching on Amazon. And I've kind of tapered off of using Amazon in general for a variety of reasons, but it just wasn't something that really screamed out to me like, you need to try this line. Also, there are 1,000,001 celebrity lines at this point, so I'm kind of like, what's going to make this different? Well, here's what I will say. I do happen to love Lady Gaga, major fan, and I don't know, but for some reason, the line just didn't really call out to me until recently. She posted something on her Instagram, and I can't remember exactly which post it was, but it made me stop and think, like, why haven't I looked into her makeup line? So I looked up Haus Laboratories on their website, and I was like, this looks really, really good. Like, all of it looks really good. And so I was like, well, they are launching a new eyebrow product pretty soon, so why don't I just do a haul? So today's video, we're going to be talking about 7 products from Haus Laboratories. And I'm pretty pumped. This is a kind of a first impressions wear test. I did put some of it on my hands and I was like, wow, that's really good. So let's just go ahead and jump right in. They don't have complexion products yet, so I do already have like my base makeup on. I primed my eyelids, and they also don't have a mascara, so I will be having to use something from a different line for that. But let's jump right in. So we're gonna go in with the Head Rush Blush and Highlighter Duo. And I got the shades Bouquet and Ribbon. So it's like this very pretty kind of soft pinky color. I'm gonna go in with a very soft blush brush. And we're just gonna kind of pop this and see what the pigmentation is. All right, so if you dip in there pretty good and you don't dust it off, you're gonna pick up more of that pigment. Very pretty flush though. I like this kind of color on myself because I am a bit more fair. So this type of color really does show up nicely on my skin. They had a number of these duo palettes. Okay, we're gonna have to soften that out a bit. I feel like, this is kind of dumb, I feel like I haven't really been playing with powder, like skin products as much as I used to. So it almost feels a little weird, like jumping back in with a powder blush. I usually go with like creams now because I like how they give like a soft radiance to my skin. And oftentimes like I can skip using a highlighter when I do that. Okay, that's a pretty wash of color. You can kind of build it up and play with it. I'm gonna go in on top of that with the highlighter in Ribbon. Now, what I really am excited to try with this highlighter is okay, that's really pretty. It's pretty blingy. It's not like glittery necessarily, but it's definitely got some shine to it. That's gonna blend that out a little more. Very pretty though, really illuminated kind of look. I'm going a little softer on this side because this definitely has some punch. Again, I haven't played with powder products in a while, so like you kind of have to acclimate to the textures again if you haven't used it. Overall though, that's very pretty. I'm gonna just pop a little more blush, like kind of right in here and swirl. Really been liking kind of like a sculpted blush look on the cheek. I don't really ever do like a hardcore contour, that's just not me, but I do like using some color to sculpt the cheeks. Basically, like my feeling with makeup is that I want to wear makeup, I want it to look really nice, but I also don't want it to clash with my lifestyle. So like, as an example, like I have a toddler who like will smash into my face a whole bunch, and the last thing I want is to have like a really hard contour line that now has like a gap in it where you see my skin, you know? So I try to do my makeup in a way that still looks pretty natural, but still is like makeup on my face. Okay, now I'm gonna go in with the new Precision Brow Pencil called the Edge Brow. What shade did I get? I'm trying to remember. Taupe Brown. So I have kind of started using like brow pens. I actually found one that I really liked. And I've kind of like stepped away from brow pencils. It's been a while since I've really had one that I loved. I really like the Gucci brow pencil because it's got kind of a powdery finish. But I tend to stay away from brow pomades at this point, and some brow pencils can be really almost like shiny through your brows, which this doesn't seem to be doing that. So let me go through and put this in here. It looks very like fine and actually like hair strokes, which I'm really, really into. I really like kind of a fluffy brow appearance. And you've got the spoolie on the other end here. Rebuild through right here. So I used to have really, really skinny brows, and I've really been trying to let that arch fill in a little bit more for more of a youthful appearance, a lifted look. And I really kind of dig the whole straight brow thing that's going on lately. So I've been kind of like lifting up those tails rather than curving them downwards. Cool. That's really pretty. That looks really good. Really easy to do, as you can see. It doesn't have like a shiny kickback, which is like kind of my general concern with pencils, but that looks really nice. Okay, let's do the other side. It's an easy to work with pencil. I mean, as you can see, it's got this really, really fine little tip, so you can get very hair-like strokes. Not bad. Okay, let's jump into the palette that I grabbed, which I'm actually very excited about because I kind of like fell out of love with palettes like at the start of the pandemic. And then recently I was just kind of like, you know what, I want to grab a palette. And then I saw this one on the Haus Labs website. I'm excited about this. Okay, now I don't really have a game plan here. I'm just kind of winging it and going in with whatever I feel like. So I'm gonna go in with this kind of matte, really light matte shade. This palette, the nice thing is that there are some matte and some shimmers in here, so you kind of get a variety. It's kind of a more neutral palette. It does have some kicks of the kind of pink and some violet undertones and a little bit of gold I'm on board with. So I'm just gonna kind of use this all over my lid here. And I kind of want to just create like a neutrally base. I also got one of their like liquid to powder products as well. So I kind of want to do a blend of this palette and that. This is a nice like overall shade, just kind of brightens everything up a bit. I'm going to go in with this color as well. I always love this type of color in the crease. It adds a really nice definition. These powders are really, really easy to blend, by the way. I'm really liking how this applies. It's just like butter. This is also, by the way, because I didn't say, Glam Room #1 Fame palette. I also kind of love that they took some song names and named products after them. Okay, let's do a little tap of that underneath the eyes. I love this kind of trick to kind of tie things together. Kind of opens my eyes up a little bit more. And I'm debating. I'm gonna go in with this kind of deeper shade as well. And if you're noticing, I'm kind of sticking with the mattes from this palette because The one that I'm going to put on my lid space is like a very shimmery liquid to powder product. And I really want to show off the kind of depth in contrast with the matte. So kind of sculpt that out. And just for a little extra something, go right on the outer corners too. I have to be honest, this palette is like super easy to work with. The colors are beautiful. And if you're looking for like an everyday kind of neutral palette, but you want those options to kind of punch it up a little bit, I think this is a fantastic palette for that. And it's not like enormous. Like I want you to look at it compared to the size of my hand. It's not huge, but you get 10 total. So I really, really like how that applied. Now we're gonna go in with the Glam Attack Liquid in Froze Bronze. And this is like described as like a bronzy color with like some pinky pearly shimmer to it. And I'm just gonna go in with my finger. I think you could probably use a brush with this as well, but I just want to try it with my finger. I just thought that the swatches of this looked so pretty. And you can see it's a very like shimmery, glittery formula. I'm giving it a little bit of a second to kind of set down on my eye before I like really move my eyelid. We'll go ahead and do the other eye. I'm gonna let that set down. And I'm actually gonna pop a little bit of the gold from the Fame palette into my inner corners. I'm actually gonna add just a tiny bit more. It's a very like thin, slippery formula, and it's very easy to blend. And it dries down relatively quickly too. It's honestly a bit different than most like liquid eyeshadows that I've used. Like I've used the Glossier Lid Stars, which are a bit more thick and creamy feeling when you initially go to put them on. And this is like so much thinner than that. And even like, you know, a cream shadow that you dip your fingers into. It's a really unique formula and I've never used anything quite like it. Okay, so I'm gonna pop a little bit of this kind of like bright goldy shade on the inside of my corners. A little extra drama. And because I wanna kind of play with the glitters in this palette too. And now, just for fun, I'm gonna take this lighter shimmery kind of pink and go just underneath the eyebrow. Got that lifted that up. Yes, here for it. I'm gonna dust off whatever is left on my brush and just very softly kind of blend that into that light transition shade that we applied. That looks so cool. It's like a very basic kind of neutral with that elevated pop of the shimmer from this. Really, really unique formula. Really like how it applied. Both of like the eyeshadows and the liquid, I really, really like. Like the brow product, I'm kind of like, it's nice. It's actually growing on me. Like now that I'm looking at it, I actually like it more. It's really easy too. It's different than what I've been using a lot lately, but I actually do like how it looks. Okay, let's jump forward here, shall we? Okay, so this is the liquid eyeliner, Matter Than Matte liquid eyeliner in Punk, which is a liquid eyeliner. We've got a felt tip here. It's not like enormous. It's got a very, very fine tip. Now, when I swatched this on my hand, this is like intense and it seems like there's a lot of product in it. And it's pretty liquid. So I'm gonna go kind of slow and build this up a bit. But I'm pretty excited to try this one. That's a wing. If there's one thing that I have to say, I feel like Curateur does a lot of like really big winged eyeliner on Lady Gaga, and I'm so happy that they made a pen because this is really nice. It's like very easy to go on. You can get real sharp, and it does look like it gets pretty matte, so that's nice. Sometimes like eyeliners will say that they're matte and then you put them on and it's very glossy. This kind of absorbs the light and it doesn't have that shiny reflective quality. And I actually really like how it looks juxtaposed with the shimmeriness of that eyeshadow. It's really cool. All right, that's a beautiful liquid liner. It goes on really easily. I think that it builds up nicely, not that you need to. I like that it's really, really matte. That looks really beautiful. I'm gonna throw on a mascara and I will be right back. All right, mascara's on. I am very curious to see if they will be launching a mascara and some complexion products. I think they would make a really awesome mascara. I just get that feeling. So this is the Rip Lip Liner in the shade Ride. I went with kind of a pinky color. And then the lip gloss that I got is in the shade Luxe Life, which is like a bronzy kind of color. So clearly like I was in a color mood when I was buying things for like bronzy colors and pinks, and that's just kind of the whole mood for this look. Okay, so let's put this lip liner on. Okay, now that would be a really beautiful color on its own. You could wear it as like a matte lip color. It's very easy to put on, but it definitely feels like it has some dry down too. Now I'm gonna go over top of that with the Luxe Life lip gloss, Le Riot Lip Gloss. It's got this kind of interesting little shaped doe foot where it's kind of scooped on the top and then it's kind of pushed out on the bottom. And it looks like there's a little bit of a hole in the middle to catch more product. I like it. Okay, so it's super, super glossy. It has some tack to it. And I did try on the lip liner and the lip gloss a little bit earlier because I just wanted to. I was just kind of like, it's here, why not? They do wear pretty well. The lip liner stayed on like through eating. The lip gloss, I could still feel it, but it wasn't necessarily so glossy anymore. But like, okay, let's kind of like do a little rundown of Haus Laboratories, and then later on we'll do a check-in. So my overall first impressions with using Haus Laboratories is that it's really, really nice. Like this feels like one of those brands that is just so underrated and like not enough people are talking about it. I love how my makeup turned out. It's so pretty. It is so pretty. And I just like kind of am kicking myself a little bit for not trying this sooner, honestly. Overall, my initial first impressions with this, I really love how everything applied. I love how my makeup looks. You know, it's overall a really beautiful line. I think one of the things that really kind of caught me initially was when I was opening up the packaging, there was a lot of plastic. There was bubble wrap. On the inside of the palettes, there was like a plastic sheet. And they even sent like this plastic pouch, which I could do without. Like, I wish I could have opted out of this because I'm just not going to use it. That's just, I personally just, you know, where I can, I try to cut down on plastic. And I think with the shipping, I wish that they had that like biodegradable cellulose peanuts or those sheets that sometimes you'll see now. And I think especially because Haus Laboratories, you can either purchase directly from them or from Amazon. It's kind of that direct to consumer model where you're not able to purchase this stuff in person. And so I just wish that the packaging materials were more eco-friendly. Like obviously some of the packaging is plastic, and that's, you know, a whole other conversation. I think a lot of companies are switching to glass, but there are downsides to glass where it is more expensive, it's more tedious to fill. And so I think as far as like packaging is concerned, you're going to continue to see a lot of companies that still utilize plastic. It's also lighter weight and it makes it more affordable for shipping. There's a lot of different variables that go into it beyond just sustainability. But I do wish that they would maybe change some of their packaging materials to be more eco-friendly. That's something that I do care about, and I really do try to do a better job of. But overall, the performance of these products, it's stunning. It's really, really beautiful. I love how my makeup turned out. So we will check in later today and kind of see a wear test following up on this first impressions. Okay, so here we are for the end of day check-in. Normally I film these in my bathroom, but I was already sitting in my little studio corner, so we're filming it with some really, really good lighting for you guys to kind of see everything. So obviously the lip liner wore off. I had had it on for a really, really long time. I ate dinner, but I do have the lip gloss on, and I paired it with a different lip liner, and I love it with that one too. So the Luxe Life lip gloss is like so good. So good. I love it. Now let's talk about this palette and that Froze Bronze. I think I might bathe in that liquid eyeshadow. It doesn't crease at all. Like I mentioned before, it dries down pretty quickly. Really, really unique texture, and it's just so pretty. Like I actually want to show you guys kind of like on my hand what it looks like and just kind of blend it out that way too. I know you saw it on the eye, but so it's not as thin as like the Kosas, because the Kosas is like water where you could like dump it and it literally would all pour out. You get it on and you can see it's kind of liquidy, and then when you start to blend it out, it just leaves like the prettiest, sparkliest wash. And like I said, because it's so thin, it doesn't take a long time to dry down. I would love to try a couple of other shades from that. I think it's a really, really special formula, and it just looks so beautiful on too. The other thing I wanted to do is I'll swatch this out for you. Okay, so here are some arm swatches from the Fame palette. What I love so much about this formula is that there really isn't much fallout, even with the mattes and the really, really dark shadows. Really, really happy with the blush. Like that stayed on all day with no problems, like still looks really, really good. The eyeliner doesn't budge, hasn't moved at all, and we're just gonna see because it's the end of the day. It like doesn't even, like nothing happens. Like you can see like my powder like going over it, but it doesn't move. So it's pretty amazing. The brow pencil really grew on me. It's such a different application compared to like what I am used to using lately, but I actually really love how it looks on my brows. Honestly, overall, I've been really, really impressed with Haus Laboratories. I just love how everything wore today. It still looks perfect. And I've had it on all day and like have been doing things. So yeah, Haus Laboratories gets like an A+ from me. I would love to try some more of their products. I can't wait to see what else they launch. I think that it will be another slam dunk. And honestly, I think more people should be talking about this brand because their products are like A+ quality. I do think they could do better in being more eco-friendly and the sustainability department. I'm very, very impressed. And I really kind of went in with no idea what to expect. If you enjoyed this, please make sure to like and subscribe. It helps people to find my channel. All of this was purchased by myself. This is not gifted. This is not sponsored. And thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.